In this lesson, we're going to start looking at introduction to decimal numbers. We see decimal numbers everywhere, for instance, in money, measurement, probability, and statistics. And you'll have a chance to look at all of those applications once you're in level 4 math and you do the consumer finance, the measurement, or the statistics modules there. But for now, the important thing to remember is that decimals are really just another way of writing fractions, okay? And fractions, many fractions can be written as decimals as well. Most students prefer to work with decimals over fractions, but it's important to remember they're the same thing. So the fraction 1/10 is the same as 0.1, and sometimes we might say 0.1 instead of 0.1, and that's okay too. And 1/10 you can see in the area model here too, where we've shaded in 1/10 of the block. The fraction 1/100th is the same as 0.01, so there's 2 decimal places when we're talking about 100ths. So in this form, we're going to look at a few fractions, and notice that the fractions with 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, etc., those can be very quickly written into decimal form. So 7/10 is 0.7. 81 100ths, 0.81. Now with the next one, we need to be a little bit careful. Because it's 100ths, we need to make sure there's 2 decimal places, even though the number is only 3. So we'll write that as 0.03 to represent 3 100ths. And then 417 thousandths, well, thousandths will always have 3 decimal places, so that's 0.417. And 79 thousandths will be 0.079, because we need 3 decimal places for thousandths, so we put that 0 right after the decimal place first. So you've already seen a place value chart that looks like the left side here, where we look at the ones, the thousands, the millions, etc. Now we're going to add these place value parts. So tenths are the first number after the decimal place, hundredths are the second decimal place, thousandths and 10,000ths, etc. Some decimals are larger than 1, and we'll write out those in fraction form and expanded form. You won't in the future be doing this, but it's really helpful to understand the meaning of each number and where it is for doing the operations with decimals a little bit later. So this is a good short exercise to do with that. So if we write 28.93 as a fraction, it's 28 and 93 100ths. The other way, the expanded form will be to take each digit in the number and write it out as its place value. So that 2 actually represents 20. The 8 represents 8. The 9 there represents 0.9. And the 3 is 3 100ths, or 0.03. 4,309 decimal 2 is equal to 4,309 and 2/10. It's also equal to 4,000 plus 300 plus 9 plus 0.2. Let me just, there we go. Seven decimal 0.65 as a fraction is 7, and then we can ignore that 0. We can write that as 65 1,000ths because it's 3 decimal places. It's also equal to 7 plus and then the next digit is the 6, so that's 6/100ths. Oh, sorry, I'm not doing fraction form here, I'm doing decimal form. Let me just erase that properly here. Once more, there we go, 0.006 plus 0.005. So 5/1000ths, 6/100ths plus 7. And then the last one, 25.304, we can write it in fraction form as 25 and 304/1000ths, or 20, oops, that's not very neat. 20, I'm trying to put an equal sign there, 20 plus 5 plus 0.3 plus 0.004, because there are 2 placeholders before the 4 there. And that's it for this lesson.